Guys, I just got beat up by my 10-year-old son playing football. He's all of a sudden super aggressive and super tough, and I'm out of breath. It was lunchtime, had lunch, came out, played a little football, back to work now. But had something I want to talk to you about. Confronting clients in the gym, confronting members or clients. This is something that has been very challenging for a lot of trainers, for a lot of teams to conquer. The thought in your head, right, is look at that crazy guy over there. I can't tell you the number of videos I've seen or the number of times I should have videoed somebody doing just ridiculous things in the gym. I'd really like to hear your craziest or strangest or oddest or just most original use of gym equipment. If you've seen anybody that has been doing some things that maybe they shouldn't be doing or doing things that maybe they think they know what they're doing or they've always done them that way. Maybe it's just a little bit off. Maybe it's something crazy like on an elliptical with both feet in front of each other, riding one elliptical with your hands overhead like a dolphin. Seen it. It's crazy. But how do you use that to your advantage to help people and to grow your business? That's what we want to talk about, is confronting our clients, confronting our members the right way, the best way, when we're in a gym setting, when you're just in one-on-one personal training, small group, even in a large class. So there's a lot of different things to think about here, a lot of different things to work on there. All kinds of different just nuances depending on where you are. So let's start in a gym setting. Most trainers, most teams believe and they think that they are going to get just roasted if they go up to somebody and say, "Hey John, I was watching your squat and it seems like your knees are coming way too far forward or your back's arching quite a bit. I would really like to help you with that. Here's something you could do instead." Or any kind of advice at all to the guy who's using the cable tower the completely wrong way. So what I've found to be true in my time as a trainer, a manager, and leading clubs is that almost every single person in the gym feels like they don't know what they're doing. There's maybe 2 or 3 guys there that think that they know everything, but even those people desperately want to be seen as people that know what they're doing. They desperately want to be seen as someone who has it all together, right? And everybody else is terrified that they're not one of those people. And what do I do here? Why am I here? What the heck am I even doing? That's a reason people hire personal trainers. So let's use that. Let's think about that for a second. If that's a reason people hire personal trainers, is they don't want to do it wrong, they don't want to mess it up, they don't want to hurt themselves or look like a fool, then why are we terrified to go talk to somebody when that could help them do it the right way and it could help us grow our business at the same time, right? So we want to get our teams confident enough to go out on the floor. We want to get ourselves confident enough to go out on the floor and actually talk to these people and approach them. But if you go up to them and say, "Hey Bill, that's all wrong, you got to do this," you're doing exactly what they're afraid of. You're making them feel like they don't have it all together. You're making them think, "I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody, everybody thinks I'm crazy," or they're going to think that whatever, their pride is going to kick in there or their fear is going to kick in, one or the other. But if you approach them in a different way and ask them not a why question, say, "Why are you doing that? Did you know you're doing that all wrong?" Not a confrontation, not a why, but, "Hey, does your back ever bother you?" If you know that way they're doing is going to bother their back. Does your neck ever bother you? Do your knees ever bother you? Get them talking about something else that is related, and you can twist it right in. It's like, "I was watching your squat. I think if you tried this with your squat, this might help a ton. I was watching your overhead press. I think if we tried this with your overhead press, this might help a ton. Or I've got a completely other exercise I'd like for you to try because I think it's going to help you conquer that one even better, and I bet you'd see even more results." You following me there? If you're following, like it, hit yes, tell me yes. I still want to hear your weirdest things you've ever heard, the weirdest things you've ever seen. Post me a picture. Tell me about it in the comments. Let me know how you even maybe confronted it there. Now, in a class setting, you cannot just go up to people and blast them. In a class of 50, you can't just say, "Hey, Susie in the back, that's all wrong. Change it up. Get rid of that." It's gotta be much more general. And then you go up to them after class, and especially those people they're in the back, they're doing it wrong, they need some help. Approach them after class, pull them into you, say, "Hey, how you feeling about those squats? How you feeling with those deadlifts? How you feeling about those bicep, whatever it is, right? You just approach them, ask them how they're feeling about it, and then you can offer them either just a quick advice so they don't feel like a fool in your class, and then all of a sudden you've got a raving fan that's going to tell everybody about you, or you can offer them something even more specific and invite them into one of your smaller groups, your one-on-one sessions. So you can get them in, get them moving in a completely new environment that's going to help them conquer that fear. Now, if you're one-on-one with a client, so we handled people in the gym, we handled large class, one-on-one with a client, guys, don't be afraid to call your clients out. Dig in and tell them, hey, I want your knee here, I want your back here. The more you do that and correct them with encouragement, with praise, the more you correct them, the more they're gonna feel like they're getting for their money, the more they're gonna feel like you really are paying attention to them and that you really are there for them. You might really be paying attention to them. You might really be there for them. And you know, I really like setting my clients up. I'll use this as an example. When I'm training, I like setting them up where they have internal and external feedback personally, where it doesn't have to come from me. You following me? It doesn't have to come from me. I shouldn't have to tell them, watch this, watch that. I want to set them up on exercises where they can feel it, where they know how to self-adjust, where they know how to. But if I just do that and let them go, and let them do whatever they want, they are not going to get as much out of it because they won't know what I'm thinking, and they're going to feel like, well, what's he doing? He's just standing there. He's not telling me. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? I better switch. Right? Tell them ahead of time, look, I want you to be able to feel this. Here's what you should feel. Here's how you should be able to adjust. Here's what I want you to do when you feel that. Give them specifics. Give them the actual things you want them to see about themselves, feel about themselves in their body, outside their body, what you want firing, what you want moving, what you want stabilizing. Give them everything you can ahead of time if you're not going to coach them in the moment, because there's some big value in not having to coach them in the moment. They can say, man, I'm doing this, right? It's not I'm doing this and he helped me get there, or she helped me get there. So we can boil it down to this. In the gym, wide open members, not necessarily your clients. Approach people. Use that as a conversion tool. Use that as a way to reach out to members and help them out. Ask them how they're feeling. Ask them what you can help them with. Give them advice on how to get better. In a class, pull them aside. And in the one-on-one sessions, we want to make sure that we are actually correcting and critiquing and ask them first. Put your hands on people. Show them where you want them to be. That makes it, some people don't like that, but it makes it feel much more personal, much more exact, rather than figure it out. And even if you just want them to figure it out, explain that to them ahead of time, guys. Try this out. And again, like I said, throw me a comment below on the weirdest stuff you've seen in the gym. We had a guy, my last thing here, we had a guy, every time he would do any kind of pressing, a little bit of pulling, but anytime any kind of pressing, chest press, overhead press, bench press, it's like he was eating a giant watermelon. Every time. I look like a fool doing that, right? But it looked painful. So we had to go talk with him, figure out what was going on. He didn't even realize he was doing it. Didn't even realize it was happening. And now, instead of putting the stress and the attention into his core, into his chest, into his shoulders and triceps, into his glutes even, he can relax his jaw, relax his head, relax his ears, everything that was getting tied up in his traps, everything, and do the exercise the right way and get a lot out of it and not hurt the next day. And he was grateful for it. He's grateful for it. So if you can do that, people will be grateful and thankful that you approached them. Go do it. Make somebody's day. Train smart. Live well. See ya.